Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. My peculiarity is, well, you have eyes. You can see it for yourself. But in all seriousness, we all have our own little peculiar ways, and I think that outsider feeling is why people have really connected to the books that this film is based off. But the trailers depicted this much more as an action movie. Thus, I wore my X-Men shirt out tonight because this seemed like it was a little bit of young X-Men light. And in the end, I think it is much more about peculiar children than it is about a young superhero team. So kudos to the filmmakers on that. However, I did have quite a few problems with the film as well. So let's go ahead, we'll start with the positives first, shall we? First of all, this kind of weird, quirky film is right in Tim Burton's wheelhouse. Of course, the visuals were just stunning. He created a beautiful, weird, wonderful, fantastical land for us to enjoy the film in. All of the children's little quirks were brought to life really nicely. I thought that he really imagined everything well, even though he had a book to go off of. I thought he just brought it all to life very well, including like the monsters, the beautiful castle, the landscapes. It all just looked gorgeous. I also thought the cast was very strong. Ava Green was wonderful. I thought she just made a very nice motherly figure to these kids while also being a little bit mysterious and a badass underneath all of that. I think Aja Butterfield was very good. He struggled a little bit with some of the emotional stuff. They're like crying and sad scenes. But overall, he was relatable, and I think you enjoy his performance. Samuel L. Jackson was camping it to the max, but in a very good way. I thought it was just a fun villain for Sam to just sink his teeth right into. I also really liked Ella Purnell. She's our floating girl. She really brought her character to life, and she brought a lot of little nuances to the character and how her character is supposed to be acting. So I appreciated that. And I think all of the young actors who are playing these peculiar children really do a lot to sell their peculiarity. I really loved the little strong girl. I think she was my favorite just because she kind of came in and bulldozed and threw things around and pushed things around. She made me laugh, and I thought she was, one, the most useful of them in the situation, but two, just fun and funny. Speaking of that cast, though, I think some big name, great actors were horribly misused and underutilized here. Allison Janney is in here. I think she's used correctly. She just isn't given much to do. Then we have Chris O'Dowd, who's given just a horrible character. I mean, the parents in this movie are a joke, and Chris O'Dowd just, that American accent, all of it, just no thank you. And then Judi Dench, I didn't even know she was in this film until her name scrolled up on the opening credits. And there's good reason, because, I mean, she's given almost nothing to do. She's given very little screen time, and her character, I mean, if you're going to have somebody like Judi Dench, don't you think that her character should at least have a little bit of heft? And I think that's overall where Miss Peregrine goes wrong. I think it all just looks gorgeous. It lays down the foundation for this wonderful story and nice adventure, but it never really fully utilizes everything it has at its disposal. So we're left with a beautiful looking movie, a cast that's game for everything, and this wonderful lore, but it kind of just feels hollow because the story doesn't know really where it wants to go. It interweaves in and out of different narratives, and all of the like crisscrossing and jumping in and out of things really takes away from the emotional moments that we get a glimpse of. There were a few emotional moments where we could have gotten teary-eyed, but Tim Burton didn't let us feel it. We also don't get to really know the characters outside of the one-note peculiarity they have because we don't have time to flesh out any of these characters. I kind of wish we would have just been able to spend time at the school, really get to know these characters, really get to know these kids, and let Tim Burton do what Tim Burton does, which is create quirky characters that nuzzle their way into your heart. And unfortunately, we are given the Tim Burton visuals. Just by watching it, you can tell it's definitely a Burton film, but we don't really get those quirky characters. Everybody just feels like Tim Burton light because we don't have the time to spend with them. And even the quirkier characters, they have like little mannerisms, and some of our actors and actresses do funny little things that really are a throwback to like early 90s Tim Burton. But we're just not given enough of that. So beyond the visuals, we don't have a whole lot of personality in here. So overall, I think if you have a preteen, this is worth a matinee. I think they'll really enjoy this film. If you are a fan of the book series, I don't know how you're going to react to the movie. I didn't read the books. Otherwise, I think this makes for a solid rental, maybe a matinee, but definitely not a full price ticket. So, that is my review of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Miss Peregrine? And have you read the books? If you have, let me know. How does the movie stack up? If you haven't, well then, how did you like the movie? Was it confusing? Did you get lost? All of the above. Let me know how the movie stacks up. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!